on some of what came out of the Mining Indaba, and we're joined by the Mining Qualifications Authority CEO, Dr. Thabo Mashongoane. Dr. Mashongoane, good evening to you. Thank you very much for your time. Your institution, it is the Sector Education and Training Authority. You are a SETA, basically, and you've been in existence this year. As I understand it, you're celebrating all of 30 years of existence. Let's establish first what the role of your SETA is in relation to mining.
Good evening, Colin, and good evening also to the viewers of the newsroom. My SETA, which is Mining Qualifications Authority, it's one of the first to be established in 1996. That's why this year we are actually celebrating 30 years of existence. All other SETAs were established 5 years later. Our role is to really increase health and safety awareness in the mining sector through training programs, as well as training of the engineers, of the artisans, and the unskilled, the new entrants to enter the workforce, even the current workforce in the mines, to say how then can we upskill them and reskill them for better productivity and self-development. That's our role in the mining space.
Yeah, you've heard the Minister, Gwede Mantashe, when he made that opening address calling for the protection of Africa's resources. Right now, South Africa is struggling with the whole question of illegal mining. What could your role be, unless you're going to tell us that you are already playing a role in ensuring that the sector is protected in as far as trying to curb illegal mining?
In the Minister Mantashe, in opening the Mining Indaba 2026, together with the President of Zambia and other speakers, I mean, the emphasis was on the theme for 2026, which is stronger together, progressing through partnership. Now, this simply says a government, employers, or rather business, as well as communities, must then join forces, come together, and ensure that we do not necessarily, as we mine, the produce should not only go overseas without being beneficiated. So rather than say, let's keep a high percentage of those resources inside Africa, so as, of course, through those, we can then industrialize, beneficiate, and ensure that the communities and the countries of Africa benefit, unlike exporting more than 80% of those resources. Now, coming to the issue that you have raised of artisanal mining, I actually like the words of Minister Mantashe this morning when he said to the rest of the African region to say, you have been doing artisanal mining for years. In South Africa, we have been having big companies, mining houses. So we do not have much of experience in terms of artisanal mining. We are going to have to learn from you. However, what we have been doing, even through this Department of Mineral Resources and Energy, we have been propagating for small-scale mining as well as artisanal mining. We have trained to date a number of people through Mintech and other providers in the main Mintech over the five-year period. I have those numbers that we have trained a lot of people. However, we are not yet expert in terms of artisanal mining, and this is where we really need to put our focus on.
Well, let's talk about what numbers you can give us as far as training artisanal miners, because this is your space. Not only training, but upskilling young people. We have a huge problem of unemployment in the country, Dr. Mashongoane. I don't have to spell that out to you. So talk to us about the numbers of young people that you've produced in your 30 years of existence as an institution.
Yeah, this is quite exciting. I mean, I was looking at the figures to say in the last 30 years, just as a SETA, one SETA, we have trained over 800,000 people, that is beneficiaries, who went through our programs. Now we have a variety of programs. I may not necessarily now break down all of those, but I can safely say we have trained more than 20,000 artisans in various fields. We have trained miners and geologists, big numbers of those. We have also afforded opportunities to the new entrants through the skills programs, who then access mining opportunities through occupational health and safety programs. There's blasting certificates and so forth. Now, these are the people who would not have received such an opportunity. So we have also improved adult education and training in the mining space. As you may know, that we had high literacy and numeracy in the mining space. So right now, the face of mining in South Africa has changed. It's no longer of those of Fanagalo, but of young people, in the main women, who access these opportunities, who go underground and mine. So you'd really appreciate the remarkable work that we kept on doing as a SITA. And we have also reduced fatalities in the mining space. Minister Mantashe this morning spoke of fatalities just last year. 41 people died in the mining space. But if you were to look at previous figures, I mean, you'd be talking of more than 200 people, 300 people per annum dying. Now, it is because of efforts and contributions of a SITA such as MQA.
Yeah. As we wind down this conversation, Mr. Mashongoane, I want to wrap it up in this way. I was just reading your speech that you gave, and part of what you said is that 30 years ago, the MQA, this is the Mining Qualifications Authority,
yeah,
was established with hope. Today, it stands with credibility, experience, and impact. And I want to latch on to that part about credibility, because when you're going to say those words, we take them at your word. But when stories are then published about yourself as the CEO spending upwards of 2.1 million in private security, why is your safety such a huge concern? Because that could lend, or that could take away this credibility you speak about as an institution.
I know what you're speaking about, the article that was published. It is because the board made such decisions. I did not make those decisions for myself, but then the board. I mean, I tried to push back. Then the board says, no, we really need to be accountable as a board for your life. And your life is more precious. Remember, I joined this SITA almost 4 or 5 years ago. And as I entered the SITA, I realized that there are serious mischief that have been happening. And I started to have to then to uproot through investigation and forensic investigation. Immediately once you do that, I think it's common knowledge in South Africa, if you stand up to the corruption and the rot, then you then know that your life is in danger. And therefore, the public and the people of South Africa must begin to apply their minds seriously and not unnecessarily over-criticize, because you will not have people who are loyal, who are patriotic to this country starting to defend. Otherwise, we see many people being killed. So it was not my decision. It was a decision of the board after, of course, assessment of threats as I was undertaking that exercise. And I'm still doing so. And you look into my record that since I joined the SITA, it has had clean 4 audit records, as well as 100% performance. But I did not stop there. I said there should be impact. I cannot just accept that academic exercise sometimes of saying you have a good record in terms of 100%. I'm saying, have we made an impact? I was impressed today. I met one young person who benefited from MQA saying, I'm now a general manager of a mine.
Yeah.
And I continue opening opportunities for young people.
All right.
So this is exactly what excites me.
Okay. All right. Well, I thank you for that explanation, because as I say, stories like that have the potential to take away from the credibility of what you say you are doing to uplift the many millions of young people in South Africa who do not have jobs. So thank you very much for standing up to corruption. That's the Mining Qualifications Authority CEO, Dr. Thabo Mashongoane.